This is the most delicious chicken pulao I've ever made, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did it step by step. So I've said this a lot, but using a wide pan is really the key to good rice dishes because it allows the rice the space to expand and not mush and clump together. So I'm using a very wide pan here, and I heated up some oil, enough to cover the bottom of the pan, and then I'm going to brown my onions. With pulao, half the time is invested in browning the onions because that's what determines the color of the rice. If you want your rice to be that beautiful color, you really need to spend time browning the onions until they look about this color, very, very golden brown. Don't stop for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then at this point, we can add our ginger paste and our garlic paste, and all of the exact measurements are going to be in the caption as always. And then we're going to saute these down, but I recommend you put your heat on low when you do this because it's going to splatter a lot because of the high water content in those pastes. So saute it down, try to get all the brown bits up from the bottom of the pan as good as you can. You might need to add a splash of water here or there to loosen it up. And then we can put our heat back on about medium high and we can add our pulao masala. I'm actually using pulao biryani masala. It's a little bit more flavorful than the regular Punjabi yakni pulao masala, and it has a little bit of red chili, so it adds additional color, which I really like. Then I determined I needed a little bit more oil, and I made space in the middle of my pan so that I could brown my chicken. This is going to add a really nice flavor and presentation to the dish, getting your chicken a little bit seared on both sides. So once I let it sit for a couple of minutes and I tried to pull it up and make sure it wasn't sticking too much, I flipped the chicken over to allow it to brown on the other side, and it was looking really, really good. Then I added a couple of splashes of water more just to loosen it. And then at this point, I can add my rice. It's very important that you wash and drain your rice approximately 6 to 10 times to get all of the extra starch off of it. And then you need to add your measured water. Now, the ratio for pulao that I find is perfect is 2 cups of water per 1 cup of rice minus 1 from the total. This is 4 cups of rice, so I added 7 cups of water. I used a combination of breast pieces and drumsticks, and I'm going to display the drumsticks in this pattern so that when it's served, it looks nice, and just kind of nestle it under the water halfway. Then we're going to allow this to simmer on high heat until most of the water is gone from the top. There's still going to be water in the rice that's going to continue to cook when we add the lid, but this will ensure the rice does not come out mushy. When you start to see the pockets of rice, add your lid and then put it on the lowest heat for 20 minutes and then turn the heat off after 20 minutes and allow it to rest for 10 minutes before lifting the lid. That is essential. And you can see how all of the grains turned out separate. I added some chopped cilantro on top for a fresh taste and also presentation. It looks really